Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Blackbird. Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. You guys, I decided to look into Anne Heche's past because I saw lots of people talking about things that possibly drove her at one point in her life to depend on alcohol and substances. So what I found was horrific, you guys. So sad. And I wanted to share all the suffering that I was able to find with you guys and remind us all, although she is gone, we still need to keep her in our prayers and her family. So you guys, Anne Heche, this is all from Wikipedia. You also can find this, but I'm going to bring it to you right now so you don't have to go and do it on your own. I know everyone is super busy these days, and because I'm not working with my health issues, I have the time. So, according to Wikipedia, Anne Heche was born on May 25th, 1969, and she died on August 11th, 2022. She was an American actress, director, and screenwriter. She starred in the television soap opera Another World. She received a Daytime Emmy Award in 1991 and in 2004. She was nominated for another Emmy Award and a Tony Award in 2004. She starred in many theatrical movies. She is best known for her roles in 1990s movies such as Donnie Brasco, Volcano, I Know What You Did Last Summer, 6 Days, 7 Nights, and Return to Paradise. You guys, those were all awesome movies. As Heche was beginning to establish herself in movies during the late 90s, her career was negatively affected by her highly publicized same-sex relationship with Ellen DeGeneres. This resulted in Heche losing movie offers. You guys, I was around at that time. I was a teenager, and I remember how people talked about that relationship. And it is true from my observation. I mean, she just wasn't in any significant roles anymore. It was like she disappeared. So, back to the article. She later returned to having television roles such as Men in Trees in 2006 to 2008, Hung 2009 to 2011. And I watched Hung, you guys. I think it was on, I don't know if it was on HBO. It was on one of those pay stations. And it was really good. She was also in Save Me in 2013, Aftermath in 2016, and the military drama television series The Brave in 2017. She was also the voice of Suying Belfong in the Nickelodeon animated television series The Legend of Korra, and that was 2014. Anne Heche was born in Aurora, Ohio to Nancy Prickett and Donald Joseph Heche. Heche's family moved 11 times and once lived in an Amish community. She was raised in Ocean City, New Jersey. Her father died of AIDS when he was 45. However, Heche said her father raped her and gave her, it rhymes with her please, and there's Simplex 1 and 2. Her father gave her Simplex 2 on her bottom, you guys, when she was only 12 years old. It was said, I'm going off the article right now from other things that I've read. It was said that she was abused by her father, violated by him from the time she was an infant till she was 12 years old. So back to Wikipedia. In 1985, she moved to Chicago, where she went to high school. In 87, she was offered a role in the soap opera As the World Turns. However, her mother wanted her to graduate high school before starting her career. A few months before she graduated high school, she was cast in the soap opera Another World. Her sister Cynthia died of a heart defect in infancy. Her brother Nathan died in a car crash aged 18 in June 1983. And her sister Susan Bergman died at age 48 in January 2006. So she had a really traumatic early life. After Anne Heche was involved with Ellen, she has said that Ellen was her only same-sex relationship, and all of her relationships from that point have been with men. And she has 2 sons. She was married to a cameraman named Coley LaFoon. You guys remember that back in the early 2000s? They have a son named Homer. He was born in March of 2002. And she and Coley LaFoon were divorced in 2007. And Heche lost custody of their son in June 2007. So their divorce was in February, and she lost custody of their son in 2007. Sources say Heche left her husband for Men in Trees co-star James Tupper. The couple reportedly moved in together in August 2007. On December 5th, 2008, it was confirmed by Heche's representative that the actress was pregnant with Tupper's child. Their son, Atlas Heche Tupper, was born on March 8th, 2009. So we go on to the psychological problems. On August 19th, 2000, Heche drove from Los Angeles to Cantua Creek, a rural area outside Fresno, California. She parked her Toyota SUV along a dusty road. Wearing only a bra and shorts, Heche walked 1.5 miles through the desert before knocking on the door of a stranger's ranch house. When the home's resident, Araceli Campis, opened the door, she knew Heche from the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights. Bemused at first, Campis grew uneasy when Heche showed no sign of leaving. "I didn't know what to do," Campis said, "so I called the sheriff's department." When deputies arrived, Heche told them that she was God and was going to take everyone back to heaven in a spaceship, according to a police report that was aired on NBC. The deputies called an ambulance. Heche went 50 miles to Fresno's University Medical Center, from which she was released after a few hours. Heche has said that she was insane for the first 31 years of her life. She said this was due to the trauma of being sexually abused by her father during her infancy and childhood. As a result of this trauma, Heche also said she had multiple personality disorder. She made an alter ego named Celestia, an alien from another planet who could speak to God and was the half-sister of Jesus Christ. Heche said that the incident in Cantua Creek snapped her out of her insanity and put her alter ego behind her. And Heche had said, "I believed I was from that world. I believed I was from another planet. I think I was insane. This escape to another world," she says, stemmed from being sexually abused by her father, Donald Heche, a seemingly devout Christian, who she found out was gay as he lay dying of AIDS in 1983. According to Daily Mail, tragic family history of Anne Heche. Her father raped her as a kid and then died of AIDS, triggering her brother to take his own life by driving into a tree before her sister died of cancer. And her mother says she's going to hell for being a lesbian. Wow, you guys. Actress Anne Heche has been open in the past about her difficult childhood and the abuse she suffered at the hands of her father, a Baptist minister and choir director. Heche says her schizophrenic, sexual deviant father gave her genital, it sounds like her pleas, after forcing on all fours and raping her. Her father, Donald Heche, was one of the first people in the United States to be diagnosed with AIDS after it emerged. He lived a secret life as a homosexual. He succumbed to the virus in 1983 when the actress was 14. Following his death, Heche's mother began a lifelong religious crusade against homosexuality and admonished her daughter multiple times for her sexuality. While Heche was criticized by her mother for allegedly allowing for her daughter to be abused. So her mother is a piece of work because she's still here. Months after her father's death, Heche's brother died when he plowed his car into a tree. Heche has said in multiple interviews she has no plans to reconcile with her mother, who is now 85, but she has begun to build a relationship with her only living sibling, Abigail. Troubled actress Anne Heche's life has been beset with pain and heartache even before her fiery car crash in California. On August 5th, we know she had the accident and how it happened and all that. So her family constantly moved as their father struggled to provide for the family. Born in Ohio, Heche and her transient family would move to southern New Jersey, back to Ohio, and finally to Chicago during her adolescence. In 1983, her father, Donald, became one of the first people in the United States to be diagnosed with AIDS, which was how his family came to learn that the Baptist minister and choir director had been living a secret homosexual life. According to Heche, her father never admitted to being gay. He died from the disease at the age of 45. That same year, Heche's 18-year-old brother, Nathan, crashed his car into a tree and was killed. That's just scratching the surface of the actress's tragic life. In her 2001 memoir, Call Me Crazy, Heche disclosed that her father was a closeted homosexual who sexually molested her and gave her genital herpes. He raped me. He fondled me. He put me on all fours and had sex with me, she wrote. Heche also said that she feared for her life as she was worried that he transmitted the disease to her. Oh my gosh, poor baby. I think my father was a sexual addict. I think he saw everybody as a sexual being. But I think that time he was living a very flamboyant homosexual lifestyle, she told Larry King in a 2001 interview. You know, at that time there were bathhouses where the whole trick was how many can you do a night. You know, there's no question of what he was doing at that time. 3 months after her father died, Heche's brother Nathan was killed in a car crash after apparently falling asleep at the wheel and crashing into a tree. He was 18. Heche has said she believes he took his own life. The Camden Courier-Post reported that Nathan was traveling along a wet road when he careened into a tree. Following her brother and father's death, her mother moved the family to Chicago. In an appearance on Hollywood Medium, Heche said, "His death is the reason I moved from New Jersey to Chicago." Medium Tyler Henry claimed to have connected with Nathan, saying, "He's proud that you've been able to talk about these things and discuss these things because you are doing it for him too, and he appreciates that." I don't believe in that stuff, you guys. I just don't. Her sister, Susan Bergman, published her own memoir about their childhood in 1994, titled Anonymity. Bergman died in 2006 at the age of 48, following a battle with brain cancer. In her book, Bergman spoke about her father's clandestine life, saying the family found out he was a homosexual the same year he died. Bergman also said he was a talented musician but was detached from reality, according to the Chicago Tribune. Bergman was a well-known writer who lectured at New York University, Northwestern University, and the University of Notre Dame. She told the Tribune that her father was constantly chasing major business deals that often left the family destitute. I think I and my sisters started looking around for a real father in some ways, she said. Heche said in her book that during her 20s, she had romantic affairs with much older men, such as comedian Steve Martin and Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham. In her book, Heche wrote about her thoughts of Martin, saying, "Why couldn't my father have been more like him?" In 2019, Bergman's widower, Jude Bergman, was killed at 62, along with his second wife, Mary Miller Bergman, when the taxi they were traveling in was hit by a drunk driver. During the crash, Bergman was thrown from the car and died instantly. Anne Heche has been surrounded, you guys, by so much tragedy in her life. Back to the article. Heche has expanded on her sister's portrait of the family life in interviews over the years. In a 1998 interview, Heche told the Tampa Bay Times, "We never told the truth in our family. Never told the truth about one thing." She went on, "We were poor, but we said we were rich. We were falling apart, but we said we were good Christians. We had a father who lived a double life, but we pretended that we were absolutely fine. We lived on the streets, but said we didn't. Everything we did was a lie. Denial, denial, denial." Speaking about her life in Chicago, Heche said, "My days were spent in school. My afternoons were spent working at Haagen-Dazs and other places, and my evenings were spent holding my mother, who kept crying." She continued, "We lived in a one-room apartment. My mom tried to keep it together, but at night she would break down. I didn't cry about their deaths until 5 years later when I moved out." You guys, she didn't have time to cry because she was consoling her mother. I just have so much to say. Let me try to get through this article. Heche told The Advocate in a November 2001 interview, saying, "My father was a schizophrenic who lived two complete lives. One as a heterosexual man who directed the choir and had a family, and one who went away. We didn't know what he did until years later." In a 1998 interview with Allure, Heche said her father lived as a strict religious choir leader while cruising gay bars at night. She continued, "My father was doing things that are attributed to schizophrenia, big business deals, delusions of grandeur, which I also had. So I know there's a lot of connections with the insanity that I had with my father." Following an arrest in Fresno, California, when she was taken into custody for wandering onto private property in her underwear and began talking to children about taking them to heaven in a spaceship, Heche described it as a psychotic break. She told The Advocate, "I knew that I was sane, but I needed to go to a psychiatrist and a doctor and make my friends feel safe that I was sane." In response to Heche's autobiography, her mother, Nancy, said, "I'm trying to find a place for myself in this writing, a place where I, as Anne's mother, do not feel violated or scandalized." Well, guess what? My opinion is that you were complicit into everything that happened to your children. Excuse me, guys. Her sister, Susan, said she objected to not being consulted by Anne about her book. She didn't have to consult you. It was what she wanted to do, and she didn't want lies anymore, in my opinion. Abigail Heche, a jewelry designer, said, "It is my opinion that my sister Anne truly believes at this moment what she has asserted about our father's past behavior. But based on my experience and her own expressed doubts, I believe that her memories regarding our father are untrue. So, you guys, if her memories are untrue, how did he contract AIDS, HIV, and then it progressed into AIDS? So, I'm going to believe what Anne Heche said about her father. Back to the article, in order to cope with her alleged abuse, Heche said that she developed an alter ego named Celestia. She told Barbara Walters in an interview about the persona, saying, "I believed that I was from another planet. I think I was insane." Thanks to a role in a 2004 TV movie named Gracie's Choice, where Heche played an abusive, alcoholic mother, she told the Los Angeles Times that she came to terms with the idea that her mother did not love her. Speaking about how her mother seemingly ignored the abuse she faced from her father, Heche said, "I always wondered if my mother was conscious, if you can treat children that way and still love them." She said that she did not feel that it was possible to still love your children and to allow them to suffer. Heche added, "It was a relief to me to finally come to terms with this question." In preparation for her role in the psychological thriller The Vanished, Heche said that she also used her real-life trauma as motivation. The thing about mourning and loss is that you don't have to do much research if you've experienced it on different levels, and I think we all have on different levels. This character who loses her child required a deep dive into the sorrow that I've been through in my life. She continued, "Unfortunately, there have been multiple deaths in my family, so in order to pull off playing this role, I couldn't hold back how deep that loss goes." Heche has long claimed that she was blacklisted in the early 2000s in the fallout from her public same-sex romance with Ellen DeGeneres. And she told The Guardian in 2000 about their relationship's effect on her family life, saying, "I was naive, hugely naive. I fell in love and I didn't believe people would care. The Hollywood community and friends and family backed away." In the same interview, Heche said that her religious mother did not speak to her after the actress came out. She also said that her two sisters remained distant from her. You guys, there's a lot of errors in this article, so forgive me. In 1998, Heche told the Tampa Bay Times that her mother believed that her same-sex relationship was a sin, while Nancy Heche told the Christian Broadcasting Network that she felt her daughter's relationship with Ellen DeGeneres was like a betrayal of unspoken vow. "We will never have anything to do with homosexuals." Okay, I'm going to interject right here again. You're saying you won't ever have anything to do with homosexuals, but your husband, who I believe everything that Anne says he did to her, was also a homosexual, and you kept your marriage with this man. And I think that her mother is a damn hypocrite and should just shut the hell up if she's still alive. Back to the article. In a separate interview, Nancy told AL.com in a 2009 that she felt as though she didn't handle her daughter coming out in 1997 well. She said, "I'm sorry I didn't know how to deal with it well. God was giving me an opportunity. We had good moments of trying to connect. All of us were learning to handle it. We loved each other. How do you live out that when you disagree?" During the interview, Nancy said that she was an advocate for showing love and respect to the gay community. In the same year as the interview, Nancy was speaking at multiple homophobic conferences across the country. So she was a liar and a manipulator. That's my opinion. Nancy also said that she found out her husband was a homosexual from his doctor. She said, "We fail. We betray each other. It's a sad story." God had to teach me a lot where to act out of our healing, not out of our woundedness. I was hurt and I felt betrayed. She also downplayed any tension between her and her daughter, saying that they have a typical mother-daughter relationship. She said, "We connect and we don't connect. That's pretty typical. I have a growing relationship, a loving relationship with her. I love her." Heche admitted in a 2011 interview with the Daily Telegraph that she had recently begun to rebuild her relationship with her sister following a 20-year feud. The "I Know What You Did Last Summer" star said, "She came out to visit last week, and we're having a wonderful time in our friendship as we've gotten closer. We've both put our stuff behind us." In that interview, Heche said that she was still estranged from her mother. Heche said that when she called her mother to confront her once, she hung up after her mother said, "Jesus loves you, Anne." Heche said, "Forgiveness is a funny word to me. I'm okay with my mother living her life the way she wants to live it, and I'm okay with her not participating in my life the way I want to live it." In 2015, Nancy Heche conceded, "Anne has stopped talking to me. She made the decision to cut off communication." So you guys, what do you think about this? I know it was quite long, but I really wanted to go into her past because so many people were saying, "I wonder what happened. Why, was she having all of these mental breaks and substance issues and alcoholism?" You guys, this woman went through so much in her life. I believe everything that she has said about her father and her mother. And her mother, in my opinion, is not a Christian. She should come out and tell the truth, even though her daughter's now gone. Tell the truth about everything that she knows. Because guess what? You can say you believe in God, and you can ask God for forgiveness, but you need to tell the truth, Nancy. You really do. Let people know what happened to your child, that she's not some lunatic running around lying about her father. That is my opinion. I think that everything she said about that man was the truth. And her one sister, who is still alive, has a responsibility now to tell the truth. Anyway, that is my opinion. And I'm going to let you guys go. Let's talk about it in the comments, because I feel that I'm about to start crying because it is so sad. All right, you guys. See you there in the comments. Thank you.